Welcome back, everybody. This is the Week 13 Picks and Preview. We have a special guest today, Jake Sepka, stepping in for John Opine. John is busy, so I called my next, my Robin to my Batman, and he said he's available. So slotted him in, put him on the Week 13 preview. So Sepka, welcome back for your second appearance without a win on the season.
Thanks for that introduction, Dave. Yes, yet again, I'm back. I'm a repeat guest. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like you said, I have not even close to winning anything yet again. I saw you were doing pretty decent there up until the end.
Yeah, I choked, big time choke job at the end, per usual for me. But I was up there. I was tied for first with like five other people going into like the Sunday night game, I think. Choked it away big time. Ended up, I don't know, fifth or sixth or seventh or something. This league is impossible to win money in, dude. Shout out Bill McDowell for taking the W though. He finished, first place, like standalone first place. Evan Kochever was up there again. I thought he was gonna snag another W. That guy has got to be an AI robot, dude.
It's unbelievable how good that guy is.
I know. How many games were there this weekend?
They were so spread out. It was like there was like 5 on Thursday. There was 1 on Friday. There was 9 on Saturday. There was 17 on Sunday. It's like, why does there have to be an NFL game every day of the week this for Thanksgiving?
I think every team played, so there was 16 games, and Bill went 13-3.
Damn. Okay, Bill.
Yeah, I went 10-6 and finished in ninth place.
Davey,
You were 9-7 and you finished in 14th. Like it's almost impossible to win any money in this league, and you didn't put in two games.
You know what? That's still above 500. How about them apples, Dave?
Yeah, still above 500. That's something you can be excited about. That's for sure.
I can hang my hat on that right there.
You can hang your hat on it. Yeah, exactly.
If I
I'm,
finish the year above 500, then I'm happy.
yeah, that's really all you can ask for, honestly. So I'm just trying to finish with maybe winning some money throughout, one of these weeks. It'd be nice to not just be $180 in the hole. I mean, dude, if I took $180 and just bet it like $10 a bet on certain bets, I would be making money. There's no way I'll lose 180 of it, right?
There's no way you could have $0 at the end of it. Like
There's no way.
this league is basically just walking up to the blackjack table, putting $180 on the table, and walking away. It's like, I know I'm not going to win.
That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm just donating money to the league at this point.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that Evan's like the best player in the entire world too.
I know he's got to be up there as like one of like the top picks in the nation at this point. The guy is just a machine, and so is Bill. That's the second W of the year. Bill McDonald is a machine, man. These guys are just built different, and you and I are like two zoo animals, just like in those videos where they like kick the ball over to one of the teams, and that's how they pick who wins the game. That's what it feels like. I'm like the donkey at the Omaha Zoo that they put the little beach ball out there, and he kicks the ball towards like Lions plus 6.5 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think honestly we should split up the league into like a professional section and then just like a Special Olympics section. So like
Yeah.
they could have like the people that are actually good at the pick'em, in the top half, and then they could have us, everybody that's like just not great at really doing this, just and have us kind of fight it out for like the winners of the losers for some money.
Yeah. Have you ever been in like a golf outing?
No.
So they have like at the end of the golf outing, they have like the winners of the whole outing, and they're always like minus 20, they're just like cheating scumbags. And then there's
Yeah.
like a second tier who's like minus 10 or something, and that's what it should be for the pick 'em. It should be a top tier where it's like Evan, Bill, Bo, those guys just knocking it out every week. And then there's guys like you, me, John, Joe Klosowski, just battling out for those lower picks.
Joe's catching stray shots already for no reason.
Well, I'm just saying, my boy Joe sucks just like you and me.
You're like, oh, who's shitty? Joe, John.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But Joe's going to be the first one to admit it that we're just having a tough year. We're having a tough year.
Yeah, and he'll take it on the chin. He's not going to get broken up over this pick'em league.
Oh, bro, Joe wipes his ass with $180.
Yeah.
Joe makes
Yeah.
that time at his job probably. He's just working. He's grinding out overtime as we speak probably.
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, he's probably. I mean, ever since he was working at that refugee camp, it's like, is anything ever gonna phase this guy after that? No.
No, yeah. Yeah, I think I read an article about Joe in a National Geographic about him in the refugee camp.
Yeah, the
It
front
just
cover
made,
building a well for them or something.
yeah, exactly. He was just like covered in like ash and shit, like he just came out of the coal mines for like 18 hours straight. Or like that, have you ever seen that picture of that Popeyes worker like outside the restaurant, like just like looks completely
Yeah,
exhausted?
just
That's like
just
my
absolutely battling through it.
that's my favorite meme ever, dude. It's just like you just caption it like Joe Klosowski after a long day in the coal mines.
Speaking of like Joe's a wasted opportunity to being a professional football player because he's built like a bowling ball. You know that guy he should have went like at least try to be like a tight end or something or like a left guard or something like that.
Yeah, he should have. He's got the perfect body for a left guard or center. You know, he's just like built like a brick shit house. You know, if that guy was running at me with a full set of pads, I would just take a knee or slide down. Like it would be no contest. I would not want to go head to head with that guy. No chance.
No, no, I get absolutely incinerated by him. I just be a cloud of dust after Joe hits me.
Yeah, yeah. You would not stand a chance. And I would be in a hospital bed and you would just be dead. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing. So some lives out there could be saved because Joe was not, running full speed at somebody, ready to rip their head off.
Yeah, and he'd be in the NFL controversy for wearing like a "Make America Great Again" hat in the press conference.
Yeah, yeah. Like refusing to kneel for the national anthem and shit, he's like standing next to Kaepernick. He's like, get up, bro, get up.
Yeah,
We love you, Joe. We love you.
yeah.
Anyways, we got a little sidetracked here. What were we talking about? So week 13 preview. We both suck. So anyways, shout out Bill. Let's just John always likes to jump right into the preview for next week. So do you have a lock of the week for next week that you want to pick?
Yeah, my lock of the week is going to be a Kansas City Chiefs -6.5 versus the shitty Packers. The Packers are frauds. Everybody knows that they're frauds. They've been frauds this whole season, and they're about to get put in their place by an actual team. Because I like all these graphics now where they're like, "Oh, Green Bay's in the hunts." They're not in the hunts. Okay, they're cheeks. They're cheeks. Everybody.
Dude, they played pretty well against the Lions on Thursday night. Did you see that game?
No, they fucking didn't, Dave.
They did. I know it because I picked the Lions in the pick 'em and I put money on the Lions in real life. So I was pissed when the Packers went out there and played a good game and the Lions played like shit.
Yeah, I was talking a lot of smack before that game. Everybody,
So was I.
every Packers fan I knew, I was reaching out saying, "You're about to get put in your place by the Detroit Lions." After all these years of getting beat by killing the Lions are about to smack you guys. And of course, they win.
Trust me, I know I was in the same boat. I'm always talking shit whenever I can to Packers fans. So when that game happened, I was just like, I just tucked my head, in the ground like an ostrich and just hope nobody would look and say anything back. There's just those random games because I agree with you. I think the Packers are frauds. I think they're trash. It's a little bit of a biased take because I don't like them, but there's these random games like that game on Thursday night football on Thursday against the Lions on Thanksgiving where they look like a good team. Their defense looks amazing. Jordan Love's moving the ball. He's hitting his receivers. He's got like these receivers start looking like studs, like Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs and Jaden Reed. And then I'm just like terrified of this team.
I know, and the worst part is like I think looking at that team, it's like they look so good. I think it's because when you look at our team, the Bears, and on the other end of the spectrum being so bad, it's like even if the Packers are doing okay, they win a game here and there, they still look miles better than the Bears. That's what
Yeah.
I'm about. It's like speaking of the Bears, I mean, what a terrible game last night, huh?
Yeah, that was a tough game for anybody to watch, whether you're a Lions fan or a Vikings fan, a Bears fan, or just like a neutral NFL fan. It was just brutal to watch. I mean, I can't believe we squeaked out of there with a win, though.
No, that was clutch.
It helps to have four picks. Josh Dobbs, ass cheeks, Josh Dobbs, the astronaut, four picks.
The
That's
Astronauts.
terrible, bro.
Why
Four
do they call
picks? Huh?
Why do they call him the astronaut?
Because I think he's like technically like an astronaut. So then we just call him the astronaut, like
Oh yeah. I see what you did.
I think he like that's what he studied in college or something, like neuroscience or something.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So he's smart, but he doesn't know how to read a defense apparently.
Yeah, I mean, he studied for that degree. He had to give up his eyebrows in exchange for that degree, I think.
Dude, you can't roast his alopecia, dude. That's not his fault.
Oh, he has alopecia.
Yeah. Do you think somebody shaves their eyebrows for fun? He's got the Charlie Villanueva.
I thought he just didn't have eyebrows. Like
No.
people are going.
That's not a look he's trying to start a trend on, dude.
I think you'd look good with no eyebrows. Actually, I think you should shave both of them.
I got the bushiest eyebrow on planet Earth, dude. They look like that. You ever read that children's book with that caterpillar that ate the leaf? That's what my eyebrows look like.
Yeah, the hungry caterpillar.
I've always been self-conscious about my eyebrows, so maybe I should just shave them off and start from scratch.
Why are you so conscious about your eyebrows? Like,
Because I've been roasted like 10 times in my life about them. My
what
brother, like my brother, like 8 of those times. He just always says like, "Aren't you gonna do something about those, bro?"
Like what? You're gonna wax them? You're gonna go to like a beautician to get them waxed or something, or to get them plucked?
Yeah, he wants me to get them threaded. Have you ever heard of that?
No, what is that?
I don't know. They like put this like it looks like dental floss. They like put it in your eyebrows and they like pluck it away. It's like very painful, I think, but it's like a cleaner way to do it than like shaving or waxing because it grows back faster if you do that, I think. But the threading, it rips it out at the core, so like it rips like a piece of your brain out with the hair, I think.
You can't afford to lose any more brain cells, Dave.
No. Yeah, so that's why I've never gone into that risky procedure. I just can't risk it.
Yeah, you just gotta take the L and keep looking like the Lorax with those eyebrows.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna ride these pillars all the way to the coffin. No choice at this point. But yeah, speaking of that, the Bears, they squeaked out a win. What was the final score? 12-10? 12-10 we won. So real turd fest. I think first team this season to win without scoring a touchdown. So that's always depressing. It brought me back to the game that we played against the 49ers. It was the first year that we played them at home. It was the first year after we got rid of Robbie Gould. We didn't sign him back, and he signed with the 49ers. And they beat us like 15 to, I think, 9 or 10 or something. And Robbie Gould single-handedly beat us with 5 field goals.
Man,
that's just like
that's just something exactly that would happen to the Bears.
he just walked into Chicago and just like slapped his Johnson all over the whole stadium. It was just like single-handedly getting beat by a kicker is pathetic, and that's what just happened to the Vikings. So Vikings fans they're down bad right now. Craig Nielsen, we just made a $10 bet on it, money line. So he had to Venmo me $10. So he's down bad.
Sheesh. Damn, I would have taken that bet if I was him too.
Yeah, so would I. I was nervous. I was really nervous. I was ready to give up. I was definitely willing to give up that $10. I was like, this money's gone. This money is just a charitable donation at this point.
But you managed to pull it off in the clutch. The Bears pulled it off in the clutch.
My guy Cairo came through for us. I was nervous when he missed that first field goal. It was like a 40-something yarder, 48-yarder or something. He's usually automatic from 50 yards in. So when he missed that, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a long game. Like in a dome, like what's your excuse? There's no wind. There's no bad weather. It's like in a dome, bro. You should be making every single kick.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that Josh Jacobs threw 4 picks and the Bears had 4 picks. It was like the most unbelievable thing ever. The Bears never get turnovers, it feels like. The last couple of weeks, their defense has been playing outstanding.
Yeah, they've been playing real well. The defense anyway the last couple of weeks, but I don't know, man. They just the offense just can't pull it together with all those wide receiver screens and like the runs up the middle. It's like just so tough to watch.
The offensive play calling is so painful. So painful.
It's so bad. Like I was screaming at my TV. I'm like, just do one play action pass, just one.
I know. I'm just like, throw it down the field, please.
Yeah, I think they said on the commentary that like Justin Fields' average pass distance was like 0.8 yards. He's not even like a yard past the line of scrimmage. He's not even throwing it 3 feet past the line of scrimmage.
No, I know. I watched. I literally looked. Where was this from? Okay, there we go. Hold on, I'm trying to pull this up. I counted like his passing chart, and he had 27 completions on the day, and like, let me see if I could share this. Hold on, bear with me, people. You need to try to filibust. Can't you say something to make the listeners distracted while I'm pulling this up? You don't have
Uh,
anything valuable to say?
yeah, I mean, motherfucking,
All right, I can't pull it up. Whatever. This is BS. Like I gotta go into the settings and change everything. But anyways, it's a passing chart, and he had 27 completions, and like 16 of those were behind the line of scrimmage.
bruh.
How sad is that? 16 of the 27 were behind the line of scrimmage.
It's so depressing. I mean, you and I could go out there with a Madden playbook, like just hit Ask Madden every time, and it's going to be a better play calling than Luke Getzey on offense.
I know he's a terrible play caller, and like going out there and just throwing screens, it doesn't work. It obviously doesn't work. It never happens good for the Bears. Like screens are not what we do well. And like if you were following on Bears Twitter or something, sorry, my gird is ripping right now.
Fine.
Uh, Justin Fields literally said in like all his interviews this week, he's like, I think they're like, what is your what's your biggest strength? And he's like, honestly, I'm most comfortable like throwing the ball down the field. I think I'm really good at like my down the field accuracy and throwing the deep ball well. And then they just went and threw like one deep ball the whole game, and it was just like him improvising and throwing it down to DJ Moore to like get in the field goal range at the end of the game. It's like, dude, you got to just let the guy like play. How do you judge him whether you're going to keep him or trade him or draft a new quarterback if like you don't even let him show what he can do? All he does is throw these screens. Like you and I could go out there and throw screens. Like it's not that hard. You just catch the snap, turn, and throw it.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. I mean, at least we have the good picks next year
Do you think they're giving up on him?
on Fields.
Yeah.
I'd give up on him.
You're ready to give up?
This is his third year.
Third year, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe we should get another OC in there or somebody that has a lick of what they're doing on offense to actually give them a chance. But first, I think maybe you're right. Like maybe they just didn't give him a good chance yet because offensive line has been bad. Receivers have been below average until this year. I mean, with DJ
This
Moore.
year it's finally better, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, running game has been okay. It's been all right, very mid.
Yeah. Like you're right. I think they finally are getting close to the tools to see him succeed, and now they have to get rid of the offensive coordinator and see like get a good offensive mind in there. I think get rid of the offensive coordinator, get rid of the head coach. If you could have Eberflus and like transition him, like demote him to defensive coordinator, I would do that. But like you can't. Like no one ever does that, right? So like you have to fire him, get rid of him. And I think we need an offensive minded coach, like I don't know, Ben Johnson maybe for Detroit or like one of these offensive guys. I'd love to see Harbaugh go in there. He's not really offensive necessarily, but like I think he would change the culture of the Bears, which would be great. And like get one of those new coaches in there, keep Justin Fields, draft like Marvin Harrison Jr. with the #1 overall pick, and then another good talented player with whatever pick the Bears have, and go from there. Like I'm just not ready to move on from Fields without giving him a real opportunity.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, those are some solid points. I think once you on the outside, outside looking in, it's easy just to blame Justin Fields because everything's on the quarterback nowadays. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
the whole team relies on the quarterback. But I guess really when you take a hard look at it, it's really the whole organization and team as a whole that's been letting Justin Fields down because in college he looked like a Hall of Famer.
In some games in the NFL, he has too. Like it's not like he has never proven in the NFL that he can play. He's proven it. It's just we need more consistency as a fan base and as an organization. And I don't blame the organization for that, but like he's gone out there and shown flashes that some quarterbacks haven't shown at all. And like we're giving Daniel Jones $250 million. Like Dan Jones is ass. And like there's so many shit quarterbacks around the NFL. Like I would take Fields over like 75% of the league just off of entertainment factor alone and potential alone.
That's true. When he gets it in space or he's rolling out of the pocket or whatever, he is electric, especially like down the field. Like if he has the option to roll out and either run or pass, it seems like he's unstoppable.
Exactly.
I remember watching yesterday this one play where he just literally took off off of like a play action boot play, and just I was like, oh shit, he's fast.
Yeah.
Blasting through the defense.
I know, and I was embarrassed as like a football like fan and like aficionado, I would call myself. Like I didn't even know he was that like quick and fast. Like watching him, I watched him a lot in college, and he just didn't run very much. So I was like, oh, like I even watched him in high school, like at his school in Georgia that he went to. Like I watched that QB1 show. You and I watched that show. So we've watched him back from high school, and he like I never knew him as a good runner. Then he goes to the NFL. He's like the fastest quarterback in the league, like besides like Lamar Jackson. And I'm just like, where did this guy come from? You know? Like he runs and he's like shot out of a cannon, but like I also want to see him, kind of protect himself because the refs definitely don't protect him. Like they do never call a flag when he gets lit up like out of bounds or like sliding. He gets lit up in the head. Like no one's protecting him, so he's got to protect himself.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't help too when he has two consecutive fumbles. Like he at some point I think he's just like, screw this. I'm not playing in this offense. I'm not throwing another screen pass. So he just said, I'm gonna put the team on my back and just do what I can do. And then he runs or something and then just gets blown up.
The fumbles were bad. The fumbles were really bad. I agree. From an unbiased standpoint of view, like you cannot be fumbling like that, especially in opponent's territory. Like both of those chances, we could have had a field goal, and he fumbled twice. But like he came through at the end, and that's what matters because he never comes through at the end. Never.
Okay, what do we got next? What do we got next?
All right, I gotta say my lock. We got distracted.
Oh yeah, we did.
My lock is going to be the Eagles plus 2.5 at home against the 49ers. So makes me a little bit nervous. The 49ers are a solid team, but I think that they're a little fraudulent. I still don't believe in Brock Purdy very much. And the Eagles are a tough team, man. So especially at home playing in Philly, that's what kind of made me lean towards the Eagles here. Like the 49ers are favorited on the road at Philly. Like I'm going Eagles plus 2.5.
Yeah, I don't think they should be favored. That's for sure. I mean, the Eagles are the best team in the league. Like
Yeah.
how be favored on the road against them?
So I think I'm going to drive to Council Bluffs and take a little Eagles money line too. I'm going to sprinkle it.
Oh yeah, you gotta follow your heart. I think because sometimes you just use your head too much. With these bets, and you overthink it. Like the Washington. Like why would you bet on Washington? Why would you ever bet on Washington?
What, the Huskies
Yeah,
in college?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that a little bit before we started recording, but my favorite team's the Ducks, right? So I was telling Jake, the Ducks are 9.5 point favorites in the Pac-12 championship game. They already played each other once. Washington beat them by 3. I think Oregon should have won that game, but I think I'm going to take Washington plus 9.5. And Jake thinks that's a bad bet, but I think this is the part of the algorithm, Jake. Smart bets win. And here's why it's smart also. It's an emotional hedge. 9.5 point favorites in a Pac-12 championship game at a neutral site. It's going to be a close game. I can almost guarantee it. And even if it's not, if Oregon blows them out or wins by 10 or more, I'm going to be happy anyway. So I'm willing to donate that money towards the sports book to see my team dominate in the championship.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
What's your counter argument to that, Mr. Smart Guy? You always got the great advice and the good ideas.
My advice is always for you to keep betting because it's just so much fun to. Because sports betting is not legal in Minnesota, so it's like I have to sports bet vicariously through you and Michael Coleman. So like, I just encourage you guys to bet more and more. But I think
You're a terrible influence.
you're so close to hitting it big. I know you are.
I know you can jump on a MyBookie and bet out of Puerto Rico. So why don't you do that?
Yeah, I'll jump on my bookie as long as I put down $4,500 worth of bets and I can withdraw my $100 that I won.
Yeah, that's the problem with MyBookie. So stay away from that. I mean, here's the problem with gambling is as long as you can control the amount that you're putting on and wagering, I think it's okay. But if you're getting, too out of control, you're betting more than your means, you're getting to a point where like you're kind of screwing yourself, then that's when we start to get worried. So you got to just make sure you're being careful. And I'm trying to keep my unit size small, so I'm betting $5 to $10, and that's always what's most important, I think. I still get the rush out of it. A lot of people say if you're only betting $5 or $10, you don't get the rush. But like trying to make a couple bucks here and there off of like your own intelligence is kind of fun.
That's true. It just adds another level of interest to the game because some of these games, if you don't put money on them, it's like why even watch them?
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
why even watch like Broncos Bears earlier this year? Why even watch that if like you don't have money on it?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It just like draws you more interested in games that you don't care about. And like we're gambling on this the Pick'em League every week. You're putting $10 on it, and that's basically flushing it down the toilet. Like if I took that $10 and put it on like the money line of some underdog, I'd probably be up more money than I am in this Pick'em League.
That's true. That's true.
Are you gonna do it next year?
Oh yeah.
You're bought in every year for the rest of the time.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's $180, and it's just not enough money. Like if it was like $1,000 over the course of a season, I'd be like, no way, I'm doing this ever again.
Yeah,
No way
10,
on that.
10,
Like
10 bucks, $10 a week for 18 weeks of entertainment is not bad value.
exactly, you get the intrigue, you get like the friendly banter, with the people that are in the pick'em league. So you get to like kind of like talk shit and be like, hey, I see you didn't win one single game this week, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, and doing this podcast, it makes it fun. Like if I back out of the pick'em league, then I can't really do this podcast. Like it's gonna be hard for me to do a podcast about a pick'em league that I'm not even in.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be a little bit tough when one of the two podcast hosts quits out of the pick'em league because he's too bad at the actual pick'em league.
Yeah, I've texted John like I probably texted him like 5 weeks this year out of the first 12 weeks that we've had in the NFL season where like I have a really bad week, and I'm just like I'm done. This is it. This is my last season. I'm done. I'm like find a new co-host because I'm done with this. This is bullshit. And then he's just like, all right, well, that's okay. Let's just finish up strong, and then like a couple days later, I'll be like, I don't know what I was talking about. Like I'm ready to go for next year.
I'm all the way back in. You win one
Yeah,
game, I'm all the way back.
yeah, I'm all the way back. It doesn't take much to pull me back in. You know that.
No, it just takes a glimmer of hope, and the Davy Dollars is all the way back in.
Yeah. All right. Who's your fantasy stud of this upcoming week? Who are you going to predict to do well?
I'm gonna say David and Njoku
Okay.
because last 4 or 5 weeks he's been on an absolute tear. He was real shitty at the beginning of the season, but I don't know what it is about. Even after Deshaun Watson got hurt, now what is his name? Dominic Thompson Robinson or something like that.
Dorian Thompson Robinson. Yeah.
Dorian.
But he's hurt, so it's going to be the third string quarterback, PJ Walker, probably.
I could see him slinging it. I could see him actually slinging it.
Let me ask you something. Did you know that? Did you know, or are you just finding that out right now?
What, that PJ Walker's the backup QB?
That
Oh,
he's going to start this game.
I just found that out right now. There's no way I looked that up before my pick.
Okay, they play the Rams. You're not worried about the Rams defense at all?
No, Rams are cheeks, defense cheeks. So I think he's gonna feast. Actually, I think he's gonna go crazy.
Okay.
What about you? Who do you think is gonna perform this week?
Well, I'm going to go with my boy Jaylen Warren for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They play Jaylen Warren. He's running back for the Steelers. And he's kind of the backup, kind of the starter. He bounces back and forth, him and Najee Harris. But I think he's going to do well. He goes against Arizona Cardinals this week, who you and I both know are turbo buns. And they have the 32nd ranked run defense in the whole NFL. So literally the worst run defense in the league. I think that both Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren are going to feast like Thanksgiving dinner, and I think he's going to have a good week.
Okay. I see you did your research on that pick, Dave. I'm a little bit jealous because it's just didn't think about that backup QB situation, but
Yeah, that's okay. That's why you're the guest and I'm the co-host. So
exactly, somebody's got to have the autism around here.
yeah, let's recap last week's picks. So I had Cowboys -11 versus Washington on Thanksgiving Day. We all know they
That's
ate them up. Yeah, that's light work. They ate them up like the rolls coming out to dinner table for me. So they smacked them. And then Johnny Boy had the Titans -3.5 versus Carolina. Good pick for Johnny Boy. They covered. I think they won 7-3, so they won by 4. I went against John because I thought he was shitty at this, and he was right. So got to tip my cap to John. He got it right. I got it wrong. So that brings my record to the year to 6-6 on my locks, and John to 5-6, and our guest is 3-5.
Yeah, you guys are so good at this. I mean, like, why don't you have your own show on NFL Network with these kind of numbers?
Yeah, they've been calling. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they're like, who do we think can go 500 in fantasy pick'em?
Yeah.
These guys, sure.
I think it would be good if they got a more like neutral mind in there instead of just like, big propaganda NFL guys that are all just thinking the same thing. All their heads are in the same spots. They got to get a guy like me in there that my mind works a little bit different than those guys.
Exactly. You mix it up. You come from a different angle.
Yeah. I'm just different cloth, Sepka.
Exactly. You're the culture change that over there at ESPN. You know, they just you're just some guy off the street. You know what I'm saying? You're just some guy that has nothing to lose. You're just an average NFL fan. I think that would do big numbers for them.
I think the biggest point of that's going to really get him to extend that offer, extend that contract to John and I, is seeing that we get about 6 to 8 views an episode. I think that's really going to draw him in.
I think you're on the radar for sure with those kind of views. I mean, I really don't think there's anybody else that's really doing a sports podcast either. So like, at the end of the day, I mean, you guys are probably tippy top there.
Yeah, I think they're going to say if you can't beat them, join them. And Mr. Wood, we need you aboard. We need those views to come our direction. So bring your 8 followers, bring them over here to ESPN Studios. And I'm going to say, where do I sign?
I think it's a bold strategy. I'll talk to my contacts at ESPN and see if they can get you guys in like a primetime slot or something like that. I think podcast wise, I mean, you guys are right up there with Pardon My Take. So I mean, basically, I think you basically reached the promised land right now.
If ESPN watched this episode with you and I, and they extended us an offer to have our own show for 30 minutes a night at 3 a.m. Central Time on ESPN, would you do it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I do it. There's not a single doubt in my mind. I would do it. Could you imagine being on live TV in the middle of the night? You could just say whatever you want.
What if they extended it and said we were on ESPN Deportes and we had to speak in all Spanish?
Oh, I'm definitely in then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you need to say is touchdown, and that's the same in English and in Spanish, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely sign up for like a Babbel or a Duolingo and just like take that hard course for like a month straight before we started, and then just like by 3 a.m. or when our episode kicks off on Deportes, I'm gonna be a fluent in Spanish for sure.
And with your Hispanic background too, I think that would really play into it.
Yeah, I think it would help a lot. I think it would help draw in the viewers for sure. So we'll think about that. I mean, I don't think there's an ESPN network that could offer me a job that I would turn down at this point.
Yeah, for real.
Did you ever do in high school those like career websites where you like fill out a survey and it tells you like what career what your dream career is or whatever, or like what's made for you?
Yeah, and I hated those because they were always bullshit. It was like my number one was like construction worker, and then like
Or like bridge troll or
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Bridge troll, back up as one of those orange guys in Willy Wonka.
Yeah, the Oompa Loompas. I was just gonna say they wanted to hire you to work in the Wonka factory. What else did they want you to do? I think. But anyways, yeah. So I filled one of those out too, and mine was always a sports broadcaster. So that's always what I wanted to do. Like I always thought I wanted to do it. Then I filled out the survey, and that's what came back. And I'm like, wow, it's like probably my destiny. Like I should probably do this. Like I'm really passionate about it. And I looked at this average salary, and it was like, okay, I think I'm gonna have to figure something else out. And then I went into pharmacy, and the rest is history.
I think you still have a shot at sports broadcasting. You know, if you go to one of those local Omaha high schools, walk into the press box or something like that, or the announcer's booth, and be like, "Hey guys, let me take over the next quarter. You know, show you boys how it's done." To a couple 17 kids.
Yeah, I probably could do that. My dad was the announcer for a lot of my high school sports, so it just takes someone to volunteer their time. And but that's the problem is I'm not really gonna volunteer my time. If they're gonna offer me a paycheck to do the games, I'll think about it for sure. And I would like to do like play by play. I don't want to do like and tackle made by number 3 Dylan Johnson. You know, I want to do like Dylan Johnson just went out there and tackled the quarterback. It was a great tackle. You know, he had a math test earlier today. It didn't go well for Dylan. He got a 67%, but bounces back here, shows his anger, and wraps the guy up quickly.
Yeah, you could be like when they show the history, like the background of the NFL players, and it's like he was adopted at age 3 into an abusive household.
Yeah, it'd be like a sideline reporter.
Yeah, you'd be up there like we'll cut to Dave for action on this 16-year-old boy. And you're like,
chill.
You're like, James Robinson was actually homeschooled up until high school. He was bullied by his peers for the first 3 years of high school, but somehow he found his way in sports. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. And back to you, Jim. And And they're like, it's so great that, it goes back to the booth. They don't know that they're still alive. It's like, it's so great that we employ that special needs kid, David. I mean, you could tell he was passionate about it, and it was his make-a-wish wish, and we're just really proud of him.
You could tell it just made his whole day. He'll never
Yeah.
forget about
Yeah, and it cuts back to me. I'm like, oh, I killed it. I'm on the phone with my mom. I'm like, Mom,
it.
you wouldn't believe it. It went so well.
You're like, Mom, turn on ESPN 12 right now. I just commentated on this high school football
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. That's the tough thing. I mean, we got into this pharmacy career, and like, is this going to be it for us? Like, are we going to try to like, do multiple things? Are we going to try to go a different direction? Are we going to, or are we just going to do pharmacy forever? I don't think that's a bad thing, but I'm just curious. Like, what do you think? You think you're going to be in pharmacy for good?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it would be interesting to like do something else down the road, like switch into a different career path, or if I'm going to change jobs, I don't want to be like in the pharmacy again, like a different pharmacist setting. I'd rather do something interesting and like different and kind of unique. But like as of right now, I feel like I'm financially handcuffed to this, to being a pharmacist because student loans, the cost of living, all that sort of stuff. It's like you have to make a decent salary and just to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know. I like pharmacy. I think we'll both probably stick in it for a long time. But maybe someday we'll retire and then we'll be like 60 years old looking for something to do because we'll be bored, and then maybe we'll try this podcast thing again. Maybe like maybe the hype around podcast will die out and then there'll be something new by then. We can do like holographic episodes of podcasting or something where we can like chill and just like be in completely different states, but we can just be chilling in the same room with our holograms of each other. And we can record that and make some money off it, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe like 20, 30 years from now. You never know.
Never know. What else? What team has really been surprising you the last couple of weeks? I know I'm kind of throwing you on the spot here, but like you watched them, maybe they started hot, then they got shitty, and now they're doing well again, or like they started hot and now they're just doing crappy, and like you have no faith in them at all. I mean, you mentioned the Packers, but any other teams that like you've been surprised by lately of how they've been playing?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say two teams, the Steelers and the Broncos.
Yeah, great pull on the Broncos for sure.
Yeah, they're on like a 5-game win streak or something like that. And it's like at
Yeah.
the beginning of the season, or the first 6 or 7 games, they're like, this is the worst team in the league. The Russell Wilson trade looks so bad, of course, like it did last year. But now it's like, okay, they're kind of pulling it together actually. Like the Sean Payton hire, I think definitely helped them get some kind of like get some balls on that team, because it seemed like with whoever their head coach was before, that guy that's on the Jets now.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, Nathaniel Hackett. Oh my God, that guy was like a wet sock on the sideline.
Yeah,
This
he
guy,
was
I'm like,
bad.
he was so bad. It's like it makes you thankful for Matt Eberflus, which is kind of shocking.
Yeah, nothing makes me thankful for Matt Eberflus.
Okay,
But you're
fair.
right. You're right. That's a great pull on the Broncos. They've been playing really well lately. It almost seems like you're right. Sean Payton like is kind of revitalizing Russell Wilson's career. You would have thought if how the season was going, what were they like 1-3 going into the Bears game? So they're like 2-5 or something at some point after that game, and you're just like, wow, Sean Payton might be cooked. Russell Wilson's for sure cooked. Like no other team's gonna give him a chance after this. So it's like if the Broncos had any like decent backup quarterback, like he might have been replaced and none of this would have happened. So like the fact that like he stuck it out and they stuck with him and then he ended up playing well and like they're on that 5-game win streak, like you said, and now they're probably gonna make the playoffs. Like it's like no one would have ever saw that coming like 4 or 5, 6, 7 weeks ago.
No one would have ever saw that coming. It just goes to show how quickly things can change in the NFL. But
For
like,
sure.
you can't count anybody out, I feel like, before the halfway point, unless you're like 0-8, like the Bears or something like that. Like, unless you don't have a decent quarterback, or your team is just in shambles, I feel like you can't count out anybody.
Well, tell me a little bit about your Steelers take then. How are you feeling about them?
Well, like they had that whole thing with that offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. The fans hated him. Everybody hated him.
Almost as bad as Luke Getzey. Just a terrible, terrible offensive mind.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, and the Steelers, I was shocked that they actually fired him, because they never fire anybody during the season. Like they've only had like 3 head coaches in the last 50 years.
I
It's
know.
crazy.
I know. It's
So
like the
like,
Bears. They never fire people in the middle of the season.
yeah. So that's what I thought would happen with them. I'd be like, oh, they're gonna go and they'll finish what, like 6-11 or something like that the rest of the year. They'll have to rebuild next year. But no, they fired him, and it turns out the whole city of Pittsburgh was right. Like once they fired that guy, they started winning games. And it's like, another crazy thing about the Steelers is like I didn't realize Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season.
I know. Mike Tomlin's insane. Could you imagine having a coach like that? Like that always gets you like a winning season no matter what. Like maybe it doesn't win you a Super Bowl every year, but like having a winning season every single year, that's
Yeah,
nice.
you're in the mix. You're in the mix every year for like 15 straight years.
Yeah. Ever since he took over for Bill Cowher, right?
Yeah,
Did he take over right after Bill Cowher? I think.
yeah, I
Because
think
like you
so.
said, they've had like two coaches in the last 40 years.
I forgot what year that was. That was probably like mid 2000s, early 2000s. I forgot.
Yeah, it had to be like 2009 or 10, I would guess. I think he's one of the longest tenured like head coaches, Mike Tomlin at this point, along with like obviously Bill Belichick. Do you think Bill Belichick's in hot water? Or do you think he's going to stick around?
That's exactly what I was about to ask you. Like, I don't know. It seems like I could see the Patriots letting him go or letting him walk, but on the other hand, like even if the Patriots are win 5 games for the next 5 years or whatever, how are you going to let Bill Belichick walk after all he's done for the franchise, after all he's done for the organization? Like what was 6 Super Bowls? Six.
Yeah, six. Yeah,
Crazy. 6 Super Bowls in like 20 years.
yeah. Exactly. It almost makes me feel like it makes me think like how ungrateful you can be as an organization to like have like a couple losing seasons after like losing your franchise quarterback for that was your quarterback for whatever 17 years. You lose him and then you suck for a couple of years and you just give up on Bill Belichick. It's like he's the greatest coach in NFL history. Like let the guy have a couple more. Let him get a new quarterback. Mac Jones is so bad. Like he's worse than Daniel Jones. He's worse than Mitch Trubisky. You know all these shit quarterbacks. Like Mac Jones is ass. So
Yeah.
they got to get Mac Jones out of there. I think they're going to draft Caleb Williams or Drake May and then keep Belichick in there, get a new offensive coordinator or something, get a couple like weapons around them. Like the Patriots haven't had a good wide receiver since like Julian Edelman. So it's like get a good wide receiver in there, get him some weapons, get a new quarterback in there, see what they can do. Like don't give up on Bill Belichick. That's not the answer because who are they going to get in there to replace him?
Exactly. Like who can possibly fill the shoes for Bill Belichick?
Yeah. What are you gonna
It's
do?
like
Josh McDaniels, who just got fired by the Raiders because he was so bad? It's
yeah.
like and Bill Belichick has a pretty bad like coaching tree. Like a lot of the coaches that played for him or like coached with him or whatever weren't very great. Like you got Mike Vrabel who never coached with him but played for him, who's doing a good job on Tennessee. But he already said he's not leaving Tennessee, so you're not going to get him. So you're just going to like fire one of the greatest coaches of all time, if not the greatest coach of all time, and not have a good idea of who you're going to like have replace him. And then you're going to get a new quarterback in there probably. It's like you have this then you have the situation that the Bears have where it's like this unstable shit show of a franchise that you're bringing in a new quarterback into, and then it doesn't go well, and you're just like, where do we start? Where do we start picking this apart? Do we get rid of the quarterback? Do we get rid of the O coordinator? Do we get rid of the head coach? No, you keep your head coach, you keep the culture, and you pick the pieces around like underneath them.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, they should rename the Lombardi Trophy to the Belichick Trophy because like he's the greatest to ever do it. Greatest to ever do it. You look around the league, who's really has the same resume as Bill Belichick? Nobody. Nobody even comes close.
Yeah, yeah.
I
There's
mean,
guys that are up there in wins, but nobody in as far as Super Bowl trophies.
exactly. And like I
Jimmy
feel like
Johnson, maybe.
what'd you say?
Jimmy Johnson, maybe, like with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But what is 3 or 4, maybe?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean,
But
heck,
6?
Don Shula with the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's got like the second most wins, I think, but I don't think he has a single Super Bowl, does he? Or maybe that did they win one with like Larry Saka and stuff like before Dan Marino? I think they were the only undefeated champions ever.
Yeah, yeah. Now that you mention that, yeah, it's like 1982 or like
Yeah,
1972.
yeah, like the 70s, yeah.
But I mean, the head coaches that are coming in now are just not built the same. I feel like the head coaches that used to be in the league are like meant to be football head coaches, but now it's like you got these random ass dudes that are coming in out of the woodwork. Like, who's the Chargers head coach?
Brandon Staley.
Yeah, who is that? Like,
He's
who
the
is
he's
that?
the current he's the current worst coach in the NFL, right next to Matt Eberflus.
Right next to Matt Eberflus. It's like Mike McDaniel's good, but he's like vaping on the sideline and stuff like that. So like, they just don't make him like they used to.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm surprised there's not more like ex players that want to be head coaches. Like a lot of these guys are just like ex coordinators or whatever. There's not a lot of ex players, but like D'Amico Ryan's doing a good job over in Houston. You have Mike Vrabel, like I mentioned, in Tennessee, doing well. I don't know really off the top of my head any other like ex coaches that are or ex players that are coaching, but these guys do a pretty good job because they have such a good understanding of the game. And then you bring in these guys that you're taking a real risk on them, and you give them a couple years of like grace period. It's like that's not really working out, and like maybe you need to bring in like a guy like Dan Campbell, like you said. There's an ex-player right there, and he's like a tough, hard-nosed coach, like they used to make him.
Exactly, that's what you need. Because I feel like the NFL is getting a little too like I don't know what's the word I'm trying to find.
Like spread
Soft.
offense, pretty boy, soft, like
Yeah, soft. Yeah. Because it's all a bunch of like there's no more smash mouth football, like running it up the gut and like trying to finish teams off that way, like cut the head off the snake by running it. There's and then like all of the roughing the passer calls soft. All of the pass interference and like defensive holding and like targeting and stuff like that soft. It's football. Like let him play, but you're supposed to hit the other guy. Like I saw this clip of Tom Brady on a podcast the other week where he was like, "It's not up to the defensive player's responsibility to protect the offensive player. Like the offensive player has to protect himself, and the defensive player has to protect himself. It's a violent game."
yeah, they're taking away the violence. They're definitely taking away the violence. I wouldn't be shocked to see if like in the next 20 years it just goes to like flag football, like how the Pro Bowl changed to flag football. Like you really can't even hit. Like you watch these clips and you watch these games, you can't even hit someone like without getting a penalty. Like some of these guys that are rushing the quarterback, they hit them like completely clean, and then they have like a perfect, exactly how you were trained to tackle someone when you tackled like a tackling dummy or like a pad in youth and high school football. You wrap them up, you tackle them, you bring them down, and then they say you drove them into the ground, penalty. It's like that's what you do. You drive them into the ground. That's what tackling is.
Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you're supposed to defy the laws of gravity and just like not fall on top of him when you're running sprinting full speed off the line trying to tackle this guy.
Exactly.
Like, you're trying to win the game. You're trying to win. You're not trying to be like, oh, I'm in the quarterback's face. Whatever shall I do? Get that shit out of here.
Yeah, I agree
I'm
with you,
not
dude.
gonna go kiss him on the cheek when I'm trying to give him a sack. Like, you're trying to bury them into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should. There's a lot of things I think they should change.
Yeah, and
They
I,
should
I
take
hate
away.
I hate to say it, but like if you're in a playoff game, like if you hurt the quarterback, it's a good thing. Like your team has a way better chance of winning. So like you don't want to hurt them illegally, like Saints Vikings back in the day with Brett Favre, like having a bounty on the guy. But like
Yeah,
if you tackle him hard and he gets hurt, then so be it. Like that's part of the game, and they're trying to take all that away.
yeah. Like let him loose. Let him fly. Let him play the game. They should take away every penalty for like roughing the passer and stuff like that. If you have the football in your hands, you're the target.
Yeah.
That
I know they take away like the defenseless receiver like blocking, like you can't block any blindside block anyone anymore. You can't hit a defenseless receiver. You can't hit a quarterback high. You can't hit a quarterback low. You can't drive the quarterback into the ground. It's just like, what are we doing? Like, you might as well throw like a red penny on these guys, these quarterbacks, and to like just do two-hand touch for the quarterback.
yeah. At this point, like why not? What's really stopping him from doing that? It's just
They'll come up with some technology where like the quarterback wears this like special jersey where like if he gets two hands on him, like grabbing him, then he just lights up green and then he's sacked or lights up red and he's sacked.
or they'll put him in like a bubble boy costume, like where he just surrounded in like styrofoam or something like that. The
Yeah.
stuff that you dodgeballs with.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is like the worst injuries that happen in the NFL are non-contact injuries. Like torn ACL, torn Achilles. These are all things that are non-contact. It has nothing to do with how they get hit or how hard they get hit. It's just like, did you see that Jaylen Phillips at Miami Dolphins defensive end? Like, just like he was just starting like his, like
Yeah,
pushing off, and it just his Achilles just ripped to shreds.
it just snapped. It's like, and they'll
Uh,
make all these bullshit changes about the rules about like you can't hit the quarterback and stuff like that. But like, there's been like 5 players who have played at the Jets turf field that have like ruptured their Achilles or torn their ACL this season.
yeah.
It's like it put real grass in there. How hard is it to grow some fucking grass?
So you're a big grass guy. You're a grass advocate.
Yeah, I mean, I never played the game of football, so I have no idea what the difference is really in terms of playing. But like, it just seems like it seems like the turf is like cement underneath the turf. If you hit it or if you plant wrong, your knee gets torqued and then your cleats get caught in the turf and it's just like you're fucked. So
Yeah.
I don't just like it seems like that doesn't happen with grass. It should always. I feel like it should just be grass.
Yeah. I mean, if all the players want grass, then just make it grass. Like, the NFL has so much money. Like they could switch out those stadium fields so easily. And like a majority of the stadiums are grass anyways. Like you don't have to do that much work switching them out. So yeah, I agree. I agree with at that point. I think like there's data supporting the fact that there's like not significantly more injuries on turf versus grass. I think it's like they're kind of equivalent is what like the actual evidence says. But if all the players say we want grass, then give them grass.
Give
Like
them grass and like
they're risking their lives anyways. Like give them grass. If that makes them feel better, whatever. Did you
exactly.
hear Aaron Rodgers going to try to come back Christmas Eve?
Yeah, I saw he was trying to come back December.
Yeah, they play Christmas Eve. I think that's what he's targeting as his day he's coming back,
Of
which will
course
be
he.
like 3 months after tearing his Achilles.
Of course he is. That's the most Aaron Rodgers thing ever. Like it couldn't be some random week in like January or like a random week in February or in December. It has to be like Christmas Day or like Christmas Eve. It's like we're celebrating the return of Aaron Rodgers like on Christmas Eve. Like that, he's so full of himself for that.
He thinks he's actually Jesus Christ, and
Yeah.
he's like the day that on the day before Jesus was born, the new Jesus will be coming back to the NFL and
The new
screens
Jesus,
near you.
he will
The,
rise from history.
the night before Santa Claus comes down your chimney, Aaron Rodgers will be coming onto your TV screens. It's like, take it easy, bro. Just take the rest of the season off. You tore your Achilles. Just have a good off season. Come back next year. Like if he gets hurt again, then he's not going to come back at the beginning of next season. So it's like maybe just play it safe, bro. And the Jets are so shitty. Like what are they gonna be like below 500? And he's gonna come back? There's no way.
No, I wouldn't come back if I were him. And like, I'd like to see him succeed I can't talk. I'd like to see him succeed with the Jets. Obviously, I have beef with him because of the all the Packers and all the years with the Packers. But like, of course, I'd like to see him succeed with the Jets. But I mean, on the opening day, like opening day when he comes running out of the field holding the American flag or the Jets flag or whatever,
The American
like
flag. You were right. It was the
the
American
American,
flag.
he
Like
comes
he
running
was
down,
like
like
he was
he's
the
like
lone survivor, or like the lone sniper, or whatever that movie's called.
yeah, exactly, like he's Abraham Lincoln or something after they just won the Civil War, running down the field.
Yeah, like he's John Cena announcing the death of Osama bin Laden live at the WWE event.
Yeah, like he thinks he's hot shit. Like, relax, bro. You're like the 18th best quarterback of all time. Like, you're not Tom Brady running down the field. Okay, what have you done? You won one Super Bowl. Wow, that's crazy. All because you beat Jay Cutler on a fucking bike. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
okay, what have you really done though besides win one Super Bowl where it was a cakewalk because Jay Cutler got injured?
Yeah, that still haunts me to this day for sure. Like you said, I want to see him succeed. I wanted the Jets to be good this year. I thought like the entertainment factor alone was great for the league. So when he went out, we had to watch Zach Wilson for 10 weeks. Like that was terrible. And now we get Tim Boyle, who used to be his Aaron Rodgers backup. It's like, Jesus, like get me out of this Aaron Rodgers suck fest one way or another. So like now I gotta see him come back Christmas Eve. Like I hope the Jets are competing and in contention. I think he said he's only coming back if they're in contention for a playoff spot. So I hope they are because I'd like to see him come back. I want to see what happens. Like I mean, he's a medical mystery at that point if he comes back like 4 months after tearing your Achilles.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I could see him using some sort of alternative medicine or something like that, because he's always
Definitely.
been weird like that.
John said it was from like the sonar from like dolphins boning or something that got his Achilles to be healthy. He just either like he like has sex with dolphins or he like sits in a pool while the dolphins bang and like the sonar or the waves or something like helps like repair the tendon.
Also repair his ligaments.
I should have done that after I tore my ACL, dude.
Yeah,
You guys should have put a pool in the backyard and put like a bunch of dolphins, like horny dolphins in the pool to just have sex and like help me recover faster.
yeah.
I would have been out there for the 2021 beer league softball championships or intramurals.
You easily would have been out there. I got Mike out there rubbing you down with some Ben Gay or something like that while the
Damn,
Dolphins
dude.
next to you.
I would have made it back by intramural basketball season if you guys did that for me, but you guys were selfish and just laughed at me and watched me suffer with my crutches.
Yeah, exactly. Point and laugh and call you a cripple and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I miss those days. It
yeah.
was so fun just to like wake up and be like, damn, look at Dave's busted ass trying to walk down the hallway to use the bathroom. It was so funny.
I think that's when I was doing like snow angels in the backyard too, right? With the knee brace on.
Yeah. With the knee
I,
brace on.
I found a way to compete, man. You got to find a way to compete.
Yeah, I like how you literally you like got like a major injury, like a life altering injury, and then you just did not follow any advice on how to make it better after that. You're like, they did the surgery, I'm good. I don't have to do PT. I'm not stretching. There's no way I'm doing that shit.
Yeah, now my knee hurts to this day, like 5 years later. Probably
Was
never going to recover. I'll probably have to get a knee replacement pretty soon.
it?
I'm going to be like Mr. Bionicle by the end of my life, dude.
Yeah, yeah. With all of your bionic joints, you're gonna have 2 knee replacements.
Yeah. Yeah, one day, like before I die, I'm just gonna my like metal joints and ligaments are just gonna be like sprinting like Forrest Gump, and my skin's just gonna like incinerate as like my body's sprinting like 100 miles per hour, you know? Just
Yeah.
like I just go straight to like a car dealership and they just WD-40 every one of my joints and I just become like RoboCop. That's my afterlife.
Yeah, I could see that being like a big problem if like you ever need major surgery or something. Like you forget to tell the doctor that you have like 2 artificial knees, and then they put you in the MRI machine, and then the magnets just rip your knees out.
Yeah. It just rips my legs out and then
Yeah,
I'm just like a torso bouncing around for the rest of my life, like a character from the VeggieTales.
yeah. You kind of look like the tomato from VeggieTales, actually. Now that you
Oh
mention.
yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. On that note, it's a good time to wrap this thing up. Any other thoughts on the NFL season so far, buddy?
No, not really. I mean, who do you have winning it all?
Ooh.
Or what should I say? Who do you have coming out of the AFC? Who do you have coming out of the NFC?
I got a Super Bowl rematch. I got the Eagles coming out of the NFC, and I got the Chiefs coming out of the AFC. I just don't see any team right now how it stands beating the Chiefs. But what I want to see is I'd like to see 49ers Ravens
Yeah.
rematch of that Harbaugh Super Bowl from like 2017 or whatever it was. It probably even way longer ago than that. 2013 or 14 probably when like the lights went out in the stadium at halftime.
Yeah.
But I would love to see that rematch. But I think if I had to put a gun to my head who I'm betting on, I think the Chiefs are going to come out of the AFC like they always do, like clockwork. And I think the Eagles are hungry to get back. So, I mean, I think I could see that being the Super Bowl matchup. But like I said, what I want to see is like a realistic thing is the 49ers versus Ravens. So we got to see if Lamar can get it done in the playoffs.
That'd be so nice. It'd be so refreshing to see that. Kind of like the World Series this year. It's like so nice not to see like the Dodgers and the fucking like Bray or so some
Yeah, the Braves, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Astros.
yeah. It's so good not to see something like that. Like as much as it's probably likely to see like the Eagles and Chiefs again, but like I'd much rather see someone else win or some random team
That's
take
why
it.
that like what was it 2 years ago when it was Rams Bengals, like that was great. Like it was so refreshing. Get like different teams in there. Like you get Stafford finally like making it to a Super Bowl and like finally making it like on a playoff run. You got Joe Burrow like in the young Bengals team coming to like it was great. We need more of that. I'm so sick and tired of seeing Mahomes and Kelsey and like the Chiefs suck fest, and then the Eagles, like I'm sick and tired of them already. So the tush
Yeah.
push. I have to hear about that all the time, and the Kelsey brothers matchup, and the Jalen Hurts like being the greatest of all time. It's like, give me a break. Get some new teams in there. I'm sick and tired of it. But
Yeah.
with Burrow going down, the Bengals are done. With the Charger, my boy Herbert and the Chargers, they're done. They're finished. I don't think the Jaguars can get the deal done. I think they are going to be decent, but I don't know if they can make it to a Super Bowl yet. Um, you said the Steelers. I mean, they're hot right now, but Kenny Pickett, he ain't getting to no Super Bowl. There's no chance. The Browns, maybe if they had Deshaun Watson, but they don't. They're on their third string quarterback right now. The Browns defense is insane, but they're not making no Super Bowl with no good quarterback in there. Uh, the Dolphins, maybe, but I think they're frauds. They're not gonna be able to play in cold weather. The Bills are shot. Josh Allen, they might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, it's probably gonna be the Chiefs.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, you're probably right.
Like
Jeez.
Chiefs versus Ravens in Kansas City in the AFC Championship. You're telling me that the Ravens are going to win that? There's no chance.
No, and I can just I can just hear Chris Collinsworth's voice on the sideline, like, Kelsey. Taylor Swift is in the audience today,
Yeah.
Just
Here's a guy who really understands the game. He knows how to win in the biggest moments, and he gets it done on and off the field. That's what
yeah,
we love about Patrick Mahomes and
yeah,
Travis Kelsey.
yeah. It's like Patrick Mahomes. Here's a guy who knows what he's doing on the football field. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my god,
I
shut
know.
up.
I know. I know, dude. Trust me. I can't suffer through it anymore. I don't want to watch another Super Bowl with the same old team. So I hope something switches up. I hope we can watch something different and see some different colors in there and have a little fun betting on it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe next year Bears Chargers Super Bowl is going to come true. My dream Super Bowl.
Yeah, Dave. Okay, whatever you say. Yeah, I'd get the not even the winner, the Super Bowl winner. I'd get Chargers versus Bears Super Bowl matchup tattooed on my chest.
Yeah, I will definitely get a tattoo if the Bears ever win the Super Bowl. I promise you that. And Oregon Ducks, if they win the national championship this year, I will get a tattoo of something Oregon, probably on my ass cheek. I can
Yes.
promise you that as well. So
Yes.
if the Rays, the Bears, and the Ducks, if they win a national championship or a Super Bowl or a World Series, I will get a tattoo of their logo on my ass somewhere.
Good, and I'm holding you to it. I'm definitely holding you to it.
That's an amateur hour guarantee.
That's an amateur hour guarantee. I will on the podcast live. I will tattoo puddles on your ass.
Okay, that's fine as long as you can stay steady. You got steady hands?
No shot, no shot. And it'd be like,
Yeah.
Dave.
It's just gonna look like a green and yellow blob all over my butt cheeks. All right, Sepka, thanks for making time tonight to come on the podcast and fill in for Jon, who's missing tonight. But we'll get Jon back next week, and hopefully we get you back on next week authentically with a win. But I highly doubt it. So thanks for coming on, buddy. It was good to have you.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you later.
All right, see ya. Thanks all for listening. I forgot this is week 13 preview of Amateur Hour. Appreciate the 6 of you that are following along.